Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the show presented by Kala. Our sponsors are Let's Talk. They are a mental health care company creating safe spaces for shared journeys. Today, I also have an exciting news to share with the authors. We will be announcing the next edition of Kala Literature Awards shortly. We invite sponsorships. Those interested to be a part of this literary journey as sponsors may please connect with me at Sanjay Chandra 59@gmail.com. Now, back to the show. Our moderator this evening is Vardhan Dharkar.
Namaste.
Namaste, Vardhan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Vardhan quit his corporate job and now pursues his diverse creative passions. He writes blogs, he is learning Sanskrit, he is studying the Bhagavad Gita, he is also an avid photographer and enjoys cooking. Welcome once again on the show, Vardhan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now about the guest of the evening. A Bengali by birth, a Bangalorean by domicile, proficient in 4 languages, a doctorate in Hindi literature, head of Hindi department in Bangalore's prestigious Mount Carmel College, Dr. Koyal Biswas prefers to write in English and Hindi. Koyal had an inclination towards poetry right from her primary school days, which only evolved during her high school and college days. Her poems always gained recognition in school and college magazines. Her passion towards poetry took a backseat for 2 decades while she was completely involved in family life. But a poet in her true spirits, she bounced back after a long gap of 20 years and started with a gush of new energy. Koyal has written more than 30 research papers, edited 5 books, authored 4 books, and has translated 5 collections of Hindi prose and poetry in English written by eminent contemporary Hindi writers of India. She is recognized as a prolific writer and translator. Koyal has evolved as a woman who believes in self-love through the many lessons and experiences in her life. Now, before I hand over to Vardhan and Koyal to take this forward, I will also like to remind our viewers that this episode is also recorded and will be shared on my YouTube channel, Sanjay Chandra 5376. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I now hand you over to Vardhan and Koyal. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. The show presented by Kala and sponsored by Let's Talk. Over to you, Vardhan. Over to you, Koyal.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for your warm introduction. And namaste to all our viewers in India and outside of India. Welcome to the show and welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. Koyal Biswas, to the show. It's indeed a privilege to have you on the show, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, for inviting me. This is indeed a privilege for me. Thanks to Sanjay ji. Thanks to you, Vardhan ji. I'm really honored. Thank you so much. And thanks to our lovely audience out there. Good evening.
So let's begin our conversation.
Sure.
Perfect. So as Sanjay mentioned, you are proficient in 4 languages, Bangla, Hindi, English, and Kannada. So And that is a rare combination. I think most of us struggle to be proficient in 2 languages. Here you have mastered 4. So I just wanted to know, when you dream, in which language do you dream?
Bangla, my mother tongue. and sometimes even in Hindi. Because out of 24 hours a day, I think I spend 10 to 11 hours talking in Hindi. Sometimes, yeah, as you told, dreaming is definitely in Bangla, but sometimes also a mix of Hindi.
Okay. So second related question is that when you get very angry, in which language do you scold?
Bangla. Depends. See, it depends whom I'm scolding and which language that person understands. But the first reaction will be definitely in my mother tongue. And if I'm scolding somebody in Karnataka, I'll definitely throw in, Kannada language. So people should understand. I see their convenience.
Good. So now you are a professor and you are a poet. So I wanted to know that in your profession as a professor, does it help you being a poet and vice versa?
It helps a lot. So first, I would like to tell about my teaching journey. Um, I could have been a teacher and nothing else. So right from my college days, I always had a fascination towards teaching. And when I started teaching, the experiences that I started to undergo with my students, I study my students very well. To teach, a teacher should first know her students. And when I walk into my classroom, the experiences that I gather, from individual, that becomes a subject of my poems. So most often what happens, see, I have also done my counseling therapy and I'm a professional life skills coach. I have done all these courses just to enhance my teaching skills. And when it comes to my poetry is something, which is very much connected to the cells of my body and, brain, you can say. We are wired, very, very closely. We have a strong affinity. So when it comes to my profession and when it comes to my passion, they are inseparable. So when I teach, take the experiences and it is there inside me. And then I convert them into my poems sometimes. And sometimes they give me so much of motivation that maybe that motivation helps me to create something extraordinary. Students are definitely, they are my energy pills. They are my vitamin B complex capsules. Without them, I really don't get any of my ideas. They just make my day. And they are the reason that, I keep writing.
Okay, perfect. I think what you say is really relevant and makes a lot of sense. So my next question to you is that you are a successful translator and you have translated poems of Hindi poets into English. Is that I wanted to know is that in this profession of translation, when you are translating somebody else's work, is there someone else, a third person who reads both the original as well as the translated so as to give comfort to the original author that what is being translated or the translated version does reflect what he or she wanted to convey?
This is a very good question. It differs from person to person. Now, the first collection of poems that I have translated is, the poems are written by a professor from Delhi University in Hindi. His name is Professor Harish Arora. So when I started translating his poems, there were no third person involved between us. I used to, and it was all, it was those during those COVID years. So everything was online. Okay, so I used to translate, and Sir used to match it with his own poems, and he used to compare himself, and vice versa. So there was no third person involved, and he told me that yes, I can feel that. Okay, these are my creation, and well done. The second person, like Dr. Harish Naval, he's a very famous humorist and satirist. He's from New Delhi and a very famous Yuva Gyanpith awardee person. He gave me a few of his stories, and this is a prose. Now, when I started translating his work, his daughters in US, Italy, and some of his very good friends who are professors in English, they were actually, going through my work. And they told sir that, sir, this is really nice. I mean, this is something that we would say at one go that this is 100% as though you have translated, you have expressed it. So it depends from person to person. Some of the authors, if they are proficient enough and if they can connect to it, fantastic. That makes the work easier. And in few cases, like even though Harish Naval sir, he's very good with English, but then he always, gave to other people and he wanted to know, take a feedback. And that is also a case wherein an expert authors, very, what should I say, senior authors, okay, they might try to, take suggestions from one or two people, and then they can just, say, yes, you're good. So to get one good from them, it's a huge trophy for me.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Because
And
to
there are
the
few more, and few more
yeah,
people that I've tried. So it's not that everybody can connect to the translation. And whenever a person says that, no, I'm not able to connect, I stop right there. And I say, no, probably, we are not able to connect. So that there are cases also like that.
okay. I think the way you have explained is really it will help us understand this process of translation and how intricate
Yes,
and how complex it is.
it is very complicated actually. It's recreating. It's
Yes,
recreating the whole thing.
yes. Keeping in mind what author wanted to convey.
Yes, exactly. And the challenge lies, Vardhan sir, when you are translating an Indian dish, okay? This is how I say. There is roti sabzi. आपने roti sabzi थाली में परोसा है. And then this has to be presented to a Western table. Okay. And so I can't say roti sabzi, okay? And I can't even say bread. So there's a vast difference. So the cultural difference is too much, and same goes with the essence, the grammar, the figure of speech. Everything changes, the structure of sentences, and then I have to think the entire concept in English. There, I can't think in Bangla, I can't think in Kannada, I can't even think in Hindi. I have to think in English and start creating. It's a huge
Perfect.
challenge.
Perfect. I think the way you explained is really good. So
Thank you, sir.
my next question is that when a book is or a poems are translated from one language to the other, how much of the credit is of the original author and how much of it should go to the translator?
This is a solid question. And I must acknowledge the fact that whenever a work is translated, so the translator always remains in the second page. Okay, so always it's told, like if, for example, I am translating Professor XYZ and the same book is translated into English, no matter how good quality English I've used and how much time I've given to it. But when the book is released, the author gets the name that my work is being translated into English, Spanish, Russian, Japanese. So the translator's name is not really mentioned all the time. So the author, the main author is highlighted. And sometimes it is little demotivating because even I've seen the translator's name, even when it is printed on a book, it is the font size is smaller, whereas the author's name is highlighted, whereas the author has no work in this. He has just given his original piece, and the translated piece belongs to the translator completely. But then the font size of the name of the translator is maybe 12, and the main author is always 20, 22, bold, highlighted. So that happens. And that is when we feel that, yeah, probably, we should come up with more of original. And maybe, we can take a back seat, or maybe we can give some time and do few little translations, but focus more in your own authentic work. That's what I'm doing right now, actually.
Okay. No, I think hopefully over a period of time, this situation will change and the work of translator also will get recognized. That's my hope. Let's see what happens in
So,
future.
yes.
So one more question on this translation aspect is that today everywhere that you read or see on TV, everybody is talking about ChatGPT and its influence in everything. Do you think over a period of time, let's say in near future, ChatGPT will be able to successfully translate from one language to another language as good as human beings do?
Yes, definitely. The precision level, the accuracy level is quite high. But see, I have not so far. I'm going to experiment in the next few months. I had it in my mind. Let me try, translating my own Hindi stuff into English and check how much can I connect it, with it. But then people are definitely using Chat GPT and they're translating their stuff. First, they used to use Google Translator. In fact, I received a script which was Google translated. The author did not like it because there was no feeling in it. And that is when, he told, no, ma'am, I think you can do a better job. So what I understand, AI plays a very important role in understanding the whole system. It's intelligence, artificial intelligence. So definitely there will be a time then there will be, enough tools to do the translation. The technical translations will definitely be taken over by the AI. The literary part of the translation, maybe we will need human interference for the precision, for the perfection, to bring in that emotional touch. But I really don't know how much of percentage, that would be. Because AI is really growing fast and ChatGPT is doing a good job. I mean, people who know to use it, they're using it. Okay, so maybe now, for example, if I have to translate my own Hindi into English, why would I go to a translator myself? Now, let us take it that way. I might as well use ChatGPT and then do a small correction myself so I can connect with it and I can do both the task. So it's quite possible that in the near future, if we are not competent, if we are not smart enough, if we don't understand literature, if we don't understand the other person who is writing and his feelings, what he or she is trying to express through his prose or poetry, we might lose out on this translation part. The artificial intelligence might definitely, come and do a better task. We have to upgrade ourselves. So there's a challenge, and we have to upgrade ourselves.
I think you have expressed it very well. And I think that is how things will evolve. The day AI or ChatGPT is able to understand emotion and feelings, I think then the job will be that much better than what it is today, because today it is simply translating without getting into emotion or that aspect of the...
And I have seen such translations. They use rich vocabulary, but when we read them, we can feel that the emotion is missing.
Yeah.
That's why the beauty of it is literature. In the field of literature, too much of artificial intelligence cannot be implemented, only for the reason that emotion part, the human interaction, the human touch. Okay, once this intelligence, once some chip is designed, to get that flavor, I think then they can do it. But we'll have to wait for that chip to be developed.
Let's see what happens in future. So now coming to your journey as a poet and as an author, for almost 20 years, I think you stopped writing and stopped expressing yourself. During that period, did you keep writing but did not share it with anybody, or it was that completely full stop?
No, it was not completely full stop. I was pursuing my PhD. I never stopped. I was pursuing my PhD. First, when my daughter was born, when she was 1 year old, I joined MPhil, and 2 years of research, with a child, with a little baby and the studies. Okay, it took lot of time and I studied. After that, I joined PhD. That is when I was completely into the research world. I was writing research papers. And in between, I used to write a little bit of poems here and there, but they were never systematic. I used to write diary during those days. Because because I promised myself that until and unless my daughter is at least 6 years and she is independent and she tells, yes, Mama, now I'm ready, you can go out and work. I didn't want to work, leaving her behind at home. I wanted to enjoy my motherhood. That's very precious for me. I enjoyed each and every day with her. I didn't miss anything. I had more actually. And as you told, sir, I did a lot of research work, a lot of studies. I studied a lot. Out of this 20 years, I must say that 7, 8 years I have studied completely. And then because I was at home, I learned abacus, the alternative mathematics, because, by the way, I'm a science graduate. I'm a pure science graduate. Yeah. I was very good in mathematics. I used to take home tuitions. I taught students maths and sciences. Then I learned this abacus. I started teaching small children. I kept on learning something. I never stopped. Only thing, the writing was in a different form. It was all research papers and something like writing some essays, writing notes for my students, and teaching my own child, and diary writing. I used to write diary.
Perfect. I think what
And
you said.
and sometimes I used to write poems to my husband. I did that.
Oh.
that was that was very rare, but then we did write and share with one another.
That was very precious thing that you did.
Yes.
I think what you said is very important, is that at no point of time one should stop learning, because stopping to learn is how I think one should look at it. So what you did was, it makes immense sense. So now coming to your writing journey and the books that you have written, the books or poems that you have written. The first one, Man Ki Khidki, I just was looking at its cover and I really like that cover. So I wanted to understand from you, what does that cover convey? Maybe you can share that cover, show that cover. Yeah.
Can you see? Wait, let me. Okay. This is okay?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is drawn by my husband. He's an artist. And this is this girl on the cover. Can you see? Yeah, this one. She is trying to fly. Okay. So, and the color, like I wanted some clouds. So he told, wait, let me use my creativity and let me do this. Man Ki Khidkis, during these 20 years, I experienced a lot regarding this outside world, because I was at home most of the times. Until my daughter, 2010 onwards, I started working. I was at home until then. So my experiences being a complete homemaker and the transition from there to the outside world, there were a lot of things inside me which wanted to come out. So I started looking at things from a different lens. So that is Man Ki Khidki, from the window of my mind. I was trying to see the world. And I'm not a judgmental person. I don't pass judgments. I don't like that, because everybody has their own angle, at looking when it comes to looking at things. So what is good for me might not be good for the other person, but who am I to judge? So it's always that, even when I think, I have a different lens. Okay, I'd never say this person is bad, that person is worse. No, it's people are good. Everything is good. I'm a very optimistic person. So Man Ki Khidki is that feeling. It's that me who is not looking at the world through the 3D eyes, but looking through the mind's eye. And that's why probably it helps me not to be a person who is judgmental, passing comments. My way of looking at people and things are very different. For me, the whole world is beautiful. So that is Man Ki Khirki. And I have taken my husband's, drawings, sketches, and have, I told him, please give, you have so many. He's a wonderful artist. I'm a big fan of his artwork. So I have told, please give me a few, and he has given me a few of them. So they play a very important part in my first book, Man Ki Khirki.
I think the perspective that you bring to the table, that not being judgmental, is very important. If everybody starts following that concept, I think world will be a better place.
Makes life easier, Vardhan sir, because ultimately we all need that peace of mind. And when we learn to forgive everything, everyone, and forget what has happened, okay, and start with a new fresh day. For me, every sunrise, every day morning sunrise makes a difference.
Perfect.
I wake up to a new sunrise every day. That is my Man Ki Khirki.
Perfect. So maybe at this point, our viewers would definitely love if you can read one poem from that book and explain to us what you wanted to convey.
Okay. I'll show the picture if you can see. Wait. Okay. Can you see this diagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my mother-in-law.
Okay.
My husband has done her sketch, and the
Okay.
little one is my nephew.
Okay.
And the important poems, what I've done, I have taken one of his pictures, sketches, and I have, tried to match one poem. So the first stanza, the first poem goes like this: Aparibhashit Sneh, the affection which cannot be explained. My mother-in-law had a lot of affection towards me. So this book was released after she was gone. So I dedicated this first poem to her. So this goes like this: कुछ रिश्ते ऐसे होते हैं जो भिन्न होते हुए भी अभिन्न है. वहां लहू की एक बूंद गिरी की नहीं, दर्द यहाँ जरूर महसूस होने लगता है. मुश्किलों के बादल मंडराए की नहीं, दुआओं की बारिश यहाँ होने लगती है. वहां कोई एक शरीर वेदना से तड़पा की नहीं, यहाँ बेसुध सी हालत हो जाती है. वहां कोई याद करे ना करे, यहाँ उनके रातों की नींद उड़ जाती है. वहां ममता का कर्ज भले कोई चुकाए या नहीं, यहाँ स्नेह और करुणा बढ़ती ही चली जाती है. So the first poem is dedicated to the parents, my mother-in-law, my mother, my father. The parents, they're so loving, they're so forgiving. ऐसे मैं फोन करके बोलूं, पापा आज खांसी है, पापा is like, oh ये पी ले, दवा ले ले. Daddy is like, he's so restless. So I always felt that strong affection of my parents-in-law. My parents, they love me so much. And I always felt that it's never enough. How much ever we give them, it's never enough. Because how much we suffer, more than that they suffer. So we should acknowledge that and try to give them back.
I think the way you have written and expressed it is really touching and sensitive. Thank you so much for reading it for our viewers. Now coming to your two other books of poetries. One is Gili Mitti Ki Khushboo and Ye Tumhara Ghar Nahi Hai.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can talk very briefly about
Gili Mitti Ki Khushboo, this is the cover. Yeah. Okay. So Gili Mitti Ki Khushboo is the second collection. And as you told that this again touches those lives, those people, and of course my own mind, which is filled with compassion. We need a lot of compassion in the society to live well. And especially as a teacher, a teacher must have compassion to continue teaching and reaching to this young generation, the adolescents. I teach a group of 19, 20, 21, that is the graduating students. So I see that what lack in their life is the compassion. Gili mitti ki khushboo is that compassion, within us. And, when we are compassionate, it exudes a sweet smell, because students, the people can sense that softness, that compassion. And this I had dedicated to my grandmothers. The direct title of the poem, Gili Mitti Ki Khushboo, it's like a woman, okay, in my life, starting from my grandmother, Dadi, Nani, then my mom, Okay, so I always smelled a sweet smell in their body. Okay. And I could connect that whenever Nanny used to, she used to put me to sleep, I used to smell, okay, this is Nanny smell, this is Daddy smell, this is Mummy smell. So I kind of, I remember those things and I put down in a poem which says that all the women, because, all the women have that smell in their body, the smell of love, compassion, and all these things. And then as I end that particular poem, I read that okay, two drops of tears just fall I mean, it just rolls down my cheek and falls to the ground, and immediately I smell that gili mitti ki khushboo. So is that even the soil of my country smells the same? So I could connect the women to the country, because I'm a hardcore Indian and I just love being an Indian. And I always feel that we are very special. We are very special, and so is our soil. So that's what Gili Mitti Ki Khushbu is all about. There's so much of love, so much of beauty, compassion, and it's there within every man and woman in this, country.
I think the way you have explained and conveyed the thoughts is really interesting, and connecting it with the country is something which is very beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your thought process about the poems in those two books. Now coming to your book about Sahitya Akash ke Do Chand, Bankim Chandra and Premchand. So I wanted to know why you selected or how you selected these two giants.
This was a real challenge, and I challenged myself. This was my PhD thesis. And I have never learned a hardcore Bangla in my entire life. My Bangla lessons were very basic, which were taught at home. So my daddy, my mom, my father, my uncle, people at home basically, they taught me Bangla. And we used to read the story books when we were kids, this Chanda Mama and all those, we had the subscription. That is how I learned Bangla. After I moved to Bangalore, there was just those books, the story books, which I read once in a while. Now, when I started my PhD, I had finished. I had Premchand as my special study during my MPhil, and then I had already finished reading his 12 novels. Then I wanted to continue that and take another literary giant, and I wanted to do this comparative study. Somewhere I had an inclination towards comparative study. So this thing came up. I was talking to my father-in-law, or I don't remember who was it exactly. Then, or I think it was my some uncle, okay, over the phone. And then Bankim Chandra's name just popped up. And then that person told, why don't you, take up some work? Because now that you're already pursuing your PhD. And that clicked. I don't know, okay, let me just put it across. Then I sent it to, as I know, I created that title. And then my guide looked at me. Are you sure you want to do this? Because nobody else in the university have done this so far. I told, yes, I'm sure. And that is where, the entire university was thrilled, because for the first time, somebody in their university was going to make a comparative study between Bangla and Hindi literature. And that took Premchand and Bankim Chand. And it was well appreciated. First shot, my topic got approved, and 3 years of rigorous work. I did a lot of studies during that time. Sir, I just can't, maybe so many sleepless nights. I studied and I understood both of them. And my God, and what Bangla Bankim Chandra used to write, it was so difficult. But then it was beautiful. And I read the original, the Bangla here, and of course, Premchand's originals. Then once the thesis was done, it was sent to Delhi. 3 places they usually send for the report. And Dr. Ganga Prasad Vimalji, he's no more. He was my mentor. So one thesis copy had gone to him, and that is when Sir had given a report. This is a fantastic piece of work. This must be published. It's a unique work, and nobody else have done this so far. And sir, honestly, I didn't know that what I'm doing is something so unique. Well, after that, even my guide, she was so excited. She was thrilled. I told, well, I'm so happy. And on the Viva day, she told this must be published. And so after 1 year, I got it published. Aman Prakashan did a fantastic job.
Mhm.
That is my first book.
Very interesting, and I must really compliment you for selecting two giants and that too in different languages. Now, very briefly, we are running out of time. Is that what are your future plans? What should we expect from you in next 12 months, 24 months?
So right now, my second collection of stories, it's ready. The proofreading is going on. The name of this book is Indradhanush mein Kala Rang Nahi Hai. Okay,
Mhm.
and fourth collection of poems, no, not fourth, the third one. It is Badalon ke Piche Ek Ghar Hai. So
Mhm.
both of them are ready. They're with the publisher. We are just doing the final touch up. So those two books should be out by June end, maximum maybe July first week. And my first English poetry collection, Remnants of Soul Memory, that might also be published in a couple of months, maybe June end or July end, by mid July. So I'm hoping these three books to be out very soon. Because of my seminar college work, I usually push these work for my semester breaks. And see, I enjoy my work, be it writing, be it teaching, be it anything. Whatever I do it with full love and passion. And whenever the book is out, sir, I'll definitely connect to you and I'll let you know.
Definitely, and we all will look forward to that. One question
Thank
is that
you.
do you have any plans of writing in Bengali language and Kannada language?
Uh, Bengali, I'll make a lot of spelling mistakes, I know. Because I'm not too good in writing, but I can definitely translate. Okay, I can translate from Bangla to Hindi, Bangla to English. That's absolutely fine. And same with Kannada. Kannada,
Okay.
because I've learned it as a third language, so I can translate, but then I would not really dare to translate Hindi or Bangla to Kannada. But from Kannada,
Okay.
I'm quite comfortable.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. And we hope to see you again in near future on the show. Now, let me hand it over the proceedings to Sanjay to take it forward.
So
Thank
thank
you. Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, Koyal, and thank you, Vardhan. It was a wonderful, wonderful episode. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and I'm sure the readers would and viewers would also enjoy the episode. So that brings us to the end of the episode of the show, presented by Kala and sponsored by Let's Talk. As I mentioned earlier, also, the episode was also recorded and will be shared on my YouTube channel, Sanjay Chandra 5376, for those who could not join us this evening. Please do read Koyal's books and share your reviews. Thank you once again, Koyal, for being with us
Thank you,
this
sir.
evening.
Thank you so much.
So let me once again remind you that we'll be announcing the next edition of Kala Literature Awards shortly. Those interested to be a part of this literary journey as sponsors may please connect with me at sanjaychandra5959@gmail.com. Please also connect with me at sanjaychandra59@gmail.com to feature on the show. We'll be back with the next episode of the show soon. Watch out for the notification. Goodbye and have a safe Sunday evening. Namaste.
Namaste.